Okay, hi guys. It is me, Ken, and I have a printout of a wheel, and in red so it shows up better. Red, the color has nothing to do with it; just makes it more visible. But my wheel represents the complexity of the lies, the intricacies of the lies, and of that is being perpetrated against us today. We civilians and are being manipulated. Even some Christians. So this is where I'm coming to anybody, but certainly Christians first. Well, no, not even that. I don't want to distinguish. But Christians ought to know this. That's why I said that. Christians ought to know, and, you know, since we read the Bible, we should be one of the wisest group of people in the world. If we're really born again, we have the Spirit in us, and He teaches us everything. God says, ask me anything of wisdom, and I'll give it to you. Just like that. And He'll give it to us in abundance. I've done that 43 years ago when I first came to Christ, and He has given it to me abundantly. However, there is a large gap in the knowledge of how things work, the evil one works, and how we think it works. And let me, 1 second, I'm going to turn this light off. Yeah, we don't need that. And I'm going to grow this to get this light off my face. Well, no, I'll do that just a little later because I don't want to lose. I actually have something that God explained to me how to do because I'm so ignorant about this technology stuff. Again, I'm still learning to wind my watch and, you know, get a better picture on my microwave. That darn thing can't pick up any stations. The screen just always looks that gray color. I don't. Anyway, yes, we're going to be talking about complexity of the lies and the lies that are serving Satan, who has an ancient plan and who probably has had it since the making of Adam and Eve. I say making because, no, that's another thing. Let's just say for everyone so we don't get into God created Adam and Eve. But remember, Adam was made from the dust. You could say created, it's accurate. And Eve was made from Adam's rib. So God could have started from scratch, but He didn't. And that's another teaching moment coming up. It's not of much importance. Because God is all in all. He does anything He wants. That's not sinful. That's proper and perfect. And He makes things out of nothing, like the whole universe. Okay. We're going to jump 2 feet head on long, whatever you want to say, into the complexity of these lies. So as I speak, look at my penny farthing bikes. Look at that big wheel with all those spokes. Look at these spokes in this picture, okay? Whenever it comes in it's not overlit. The spokes represent strings that are attached to the lies. And the lies are today's issue. And I can't give them to you all at once, but they are all interconnected. If I tried to give them to you all at once, I'd be 24 hours here, and I'd be exhausted, and you'd be confused. We have limited understanding. We're just people. So I'm trying to spoon feed you. But this is the introduction to the lies and what's happening in the world proper. Meaning this is it. Okay, something came up last night. And God told me, Ken, this is a psyop. He doesn't use, well, certainly gave me that impression. And let me tell you, this psyop, this brand new one, and I'm going to play a 4-minute video that you're not going to see, but you'll hear, and I'll just twiddle my thumbs while you listen about this newest psyop. And here it goes. The whole deal that I believe God is allowing me to speak, because I couldn't figure out how to do this till last week. I think a week today. I don't, I'm not been at this long. But I might as well blow it up a little bit here. Full screen. There. Full screen gets that glow off my face. But I have to go back to a smaller screen to play the audio, 4-minute audio that ties in. The whole deal is Apophis coming. Apophis is given a date of impact by NASA, not by me and a bunch of true Christian scholars. I call myself a scholar because I am, but I'm such a weak little guy, little s scholar, that. But if I don't, that I use these small s, and I am. I fit the criteria of being scholarly. I certainly have 4.5 decades is certainly long enough, with even average intelligence, and anyway. But the reason we don't know what's going on in the world, I have to touch this base, is because everything, let's use the assassination of JFK. You baby boomers, I'm 75, born in 49. So if you're around there, you were walking around and cognizant of the fact we lost JFK to, quote, an assassination. And it was an assassination, more of a murder. It was to keep him quiet. Quiet about what? Believe it or not, as highly intelligent and good that man was, and experienced as he was, he did not know that the Illuminati was real, and that it was the enemy of the world, because its goal is to win the world for Satan, and with Satan's full help. And that this Illuminati goes back to at least when the Jews were in Babylonian captivity. I'm just going to say these things, and if it ever gets out, I'll have the anti-Semitism people, Semitic people rather, on Semitism, yes, on me like white on rice, because that's part of the. Now, I want to protect the Jews, though. Listen, they're still God's people. I don't want to it's a long rabbit trail. I spoke. It's another spoke. Oh, it's another spoke. But it's actually a spoke that fits what's happening, fits in somewhere in what's happening, which is right here. I call the hub or the issue. But there's many other ones. But my point is, it's ancient, and there is, this is all my opinion. Okay, let's see if God's talking to me. But a group of renegade Jewish people under the captivity and in the city of Babylon learned sinful men. They just happened to be Jews. They discovered that the occult works pretty darn good, and to your so-called benefit. And they learned it, but being under the Mosaic law at 400 BC, they had to keep it secret, or they'd be executed for adultery and paganism. Okay, actually, it was devil worship, and It's grown secretly, dynamically, with Satan's help over the years. So when JFK learned of it back in 63, I'm sorry, uh, yeah, 63, he immediately came and made a video, which if my brain stays attached uh, and doesn't empty out and when I'm done with this video, I'll try to attach it at the end. So look for it. But it's basically JFK talking about what he calls a monolithic society that does its work by night and it does its work through intimidation. He doesn't say murder, but I'll say murder. And you know there's people out there watching this maybe in the future, Christians that know what's going on. They've had an inkling. So what I'm doing right now for you, small group of folks, Christian folks, is I'm going to make it clear and also remind you the Jews are still God's chosen people. The tribulation is the time of Jacob's or Israel's trouble. We're gone. We're gone. And I'm gone. How long have I put? I wish there was. Oh, there's a clock. Oh, a minute here. Oh, cow. I'm 11 minutes into this. So there's something that happened last night that God told me this is a psyop to teach us a few things. Okay. Before I get into that, I still have to explain something to you. Because things are like this, are complicated, any one issue that looks a little strange and odd, JFK murder, the shooting of the attempted assassination of Reagan, the 9/11 towers, okay, and we could go back, the bombing of Pearl Harbor when we knew they were coming in. Many things. I can't think much more. Oh, the chemtrails. The government has to be paying for them, and what are they giving us? Why hasn't it been no expose on the chemtrails? Oh, light and fluffy, but what are they trying to get out of spraying us with chemtrails? Our deaths. This is poison. To some extent, they're so advanced because medicine today has been taken over by the government, and medicine and medical students are taught to listen and to look to science, medical science, as their God. Okay, at least not capital G, at least in small God, and so they're brainwashed to a large degree, and you can't count on medicine today because they failed us and they become complicit in what's happening to people. Now, if I don't get any more specific than that, maybe they'll let me stay up. And but it's complicated. You see, that's an issue. The medical field today, people, doctors, qualified people that step out of line and don't agree with the company policy and the company rhetoric, well, they get minimalized. Maybe even I haven't heard of any getting whacked yet. I'm sure there's a few that were very close to some subjects and were going to be whistleblowers, and they fell down steps. Whoops! And but that's another string, and it does tie into this, what I'll be talking about today. They're all interconnected, all these issues. JFK's interconnected of 63 years ago, I think, or whatever, 62 years ago. And it's connected today like the 9/11 is to 2001. Like chemtrails are for this very day. I could still look out and catch chemtrails now and then. They've lightened up on those quite a deal. Now I'm at, gosh, the time's flying, 15 minutes. Okay, I have to give you a tutorial on something. And I'm going to stop this because I'm 15 minutes into this and I do not want to, because of complexity. This will be now the introduction. I think it would be called number 13 video. Today's date is Friday the 19th, and the time is 6:30 p.m. here in Western Pennsylvania. And so I'll be right back, and I'll try to get on the issue. But I'm going to talk to you coming up about deductive reasoning. What is it? How does it work? And thinking systematically. They're both the same. Both phrases basically mean the same thing. And that's coming up next. So catch my quickly coming, soon following number 14 video. And God bless you. Trust Christ as your Savior. Let's all get out of here together at the rapture, which I think is at the end of this October.